Yes. Better late than never. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Journey to Greatness, day 182 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. Happy Monday. Went to sleep yesterday at like 7 p.m. Slept for a very, very long time, and it was so nice. All right. Na, 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 na. All righty. So, good morning, Liz. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Good Sunday. Safe driving. I will see you on the other side. Alrighty. Welcome back. Good morning, Auntie. How's it going? Good morning, Uncle. Thank you. Have a good day. All right, my friend. So, Relentless by Tim Grover is the book that we're reading. We just finished our meditation routine. And if you're joining us for the first time, I personally feel that reading a physical book is a little better than reading off of the screen because, we're on our phones most of the day. We're on our computers most of the day, whether at work or be it for entertainment. So it's just good to kind of rest the eyes and, read a book. So that's the reason why we use the books. So I will see you guys on the other side. If you have any questions or concerns about that, just let me know. And see you on the other side. Okay. Alrighty, welcome back. Welcome back. So we just finished our reading routine, and now we're getting into our journaling routine. So with our journaling routine, I especially like it because it allows you to get all of your ideas down on paper. And for me, I like to start off by writing about what I'm most grateful for in the morning, and that is waking up and being in exceptional health. And then I go on to write about like things that happened yesterday. I explain, how it made me feel or what I wish to experience or what I'm grateful for, and show respect and gratefulness for anything that happened to me yesterday, what I learned from it. Just really reflecting on your day, and then moving forward, like how you wish for this week to be, what you wish to accomplish, what you wish to achieve, how you wish to change your life, and how you have, or living from the end, how you have changed your life. So, I mean, it's really a good way to get your ideas down on paper, to talk to people that you wouldn't be able to talk to. Like, you can do it through paper, write your story. So with that being said, I will see you on the other side. If you have any questions as to how you can do that or how to do it, just reach out to me after the session and I'll answer it for you. See you guys on the other side. We just finished another pen. Great. All right, my friends, welcome back. Alrighty, so in our book, a couple good things going on here today, which I should say, by the way, our 6-month celebration that we had over the weekend was awesome. We didn't take any pictures because we all forgot to, but that's okay. Next time for our next gathering, we'll go ahead and make that the first thing that we do. So right now, currently in our book, we were talking about being pretty much how to be a cleaner and how to manage pressure. Pressure can bust pipes, but it can also make diamonds. If you take the negative view, it will crush you. Now you're in and I can't do this frame of mind. But the positive view is that pressure is a challenge that will define you. It gives you the opportunity to see how much you can take, how hard you can go. Everyone wants to cut back on stress because stress kills. I say BS. Stress is what brings you to life. Let it motivate you. Make you work harder. Use it. Don't run from it. When it makes you uncomfortable, so what? The payoff is worth it. Work through the discomfort. You'll survive, and then go back for more. Of course, you have to be able to recognize the difference between stress that can bring great results and stress you create yourself that just causes chaos. Showing up unprepared, not putting in the work, blowing off commitments and obligations, that's the stuff that creates pointless stress. You had the option to manage those things before they turn into negative situations. But when you're faced with a stress of great challenges set before you, making the team, working for a raise, finishing a job, winning a championship, undeniable gifts are buried under that pressure. Not everyone gets the opportunity to be stressed by the potential to achieve exceptional things. So very much so fair. And I think just, tying this into our day to day it's just really a good time or a good moment for us to figure out that balance, right? So there's another section in the book. When I say that balance, I mean the balance between working really, really, really hard and making sure that you're keeping all elements of your life intact, right? So Tim, the author, he continues to go forward and he says, when Michael Jordan won his championship rings, he won them and he did work. And that was because he was unstoppable. He was relentless in his attempt in training and scoring and everything that he did. But then when he went to the Wizards, right, the Washington Wizards, Tim noticed something about Michael, right? And this is actually a really good point. I like it a lot. Eventually, you just have to say enough. This is who I'm going to be now. The fire was still there, but not that desire to make it hotter and hotter. And he was still the only player ever over the age of 40 to score more than 50 points in a game. When you deal with stress all the time, it becomes second nature. It is not easy or effortless, but you handle things without panicking because you have experience in accepting the rigors of complex challenges. When you never have to take on anything harder than your daily routine, when you shy away from anything that rocks your sense of safety and control, you're much more likely to fall apart at the first twinge of pressure. I like that because for some, because I know we were saying we're going to go hard, we're going to go hard, we're going to go hard. But for some, they're like, or for some of us, we may be saying to ourselves, well, I'm going as hard as I can. And honestly, I can't bear this. I can't deal with all this pressure. Well, that's okay for you to take a couple steps back, obviously, or pause. It's okay for you to stay where you are, manage the stress, figure out a way to get through it, rather than turning up hotter and hotter and hotter on yourself, right? And I don't necessarily look at that because the first thing that comes to mind, well, is that a way out? Is that a way to, take a step back and not go as hard every single day? No, it's just about knowing your boundaries, right? Like, you don't want to drive yourself crazy trying to turn the heat up on yourself, to be better and better and better, when you have to evolve to a place that requires, like, you have to grow. You have to mentally sharpen yourself, and physically, or whatever it may be, you have to sharpen yourself and grow yourself in order to take it to that next level. And if you're pushing to get there and you're rushing to get there, right, then, you may be missing a lot of the lessons along the way. And when you arrive at that place where, now you feel like you're stretched too thin, then what happens, right? Then mentally you can crumble, or you could just thrive even more, right? So it just depends, but I can't say what that's like for everyone else. But all I can say is we just have to remember, the stuff that we're doing is more advanced, I feel like, than, just reading every day and journaling and meditating. It's a lifestyle. And not only, is it a lifestyle, but being conscious in the way that we're living, different things start to come up for ourselves. Different thoughts come up for ourselves. And I think it's really important that we stay in our respective frame of minds and we know who we are, because when we're in a place of vulnerability, which that is pushing to the next level, there is a little bit of space in between for other things to try to interject themselves into your philosophy, into who you are. And the number one thing that we can do to kind of bridge the gap between that relentless swing of being better until we can plateau on that next level is taking it a little bit slower, and or taking a little bit faster and hurrying me getting to that platform, and then just really getting your ground and your footing again, and then you continuously moving forward, right? So I like that, because at the end of the day, that statement that I just read, eventually you just have to say, enough. This is how I'm going to be now. You get to choose what that is for you. And when you're focused on material success, I think this is something I realized also. When you're focused purely on material success and money is always on your mind, attaining the private jet, having the football team, the basketball team, whatever it may be, and you're constantly attached to this physical and material thing, then the physical and material pressures also start to come up for you, or may start to come up for you, versus being, focused on the spiritual development of things, right? The emotional balance of things. I think that different things come up for you when you're in different mindsets, because being in a material world means that you're, in my opinion, or at least for me, it's like I'm floating right above the surface. But when I'm in a spiritual, imaginative world, yes, I'm thinking about material things, but our life has so much more to do with than, just these material things. And so it's a different element. It's a different desire. It's a different satisfaction to read, to think, to be in balance, versus like always thinking about material things or successes or whatever it may be. So a lot of different and interesting paradigms kind of coming up for me here, in this part of our journey, and actually after reading this. And so I like it a lot. And with that, we'll end there. The book we're reading right now is Relentless by Tim Grover. And it's kind of, it's a little funky, in the sense of it's a pretty good book. It's giving a lot of different perspective on what it means to be the best. And it's kind of like, I think it's important not to get it confused. Like, there's a lot of people in history. This is something that just came up in my mind, is there's a lot of people in history who strive to like rule a kingdom, right? And they go so hard to rule the kingdom, but the villagers or the community or the commonwealth, they're not. It's like the person's desire to rule the kingdom destroys them in the end. And there's so many intricate parts to that puzzle. And then with great power comes great responsibility. And I don't think that's an understatement. So as we continue to move into our greatness, I think it's very, very important that we all understand that the desire to, be closer to God, the desire to be closer to the universal energy and power, the desire to be closer to emotion, the desire to be closer and deeply in love with ourselves can come with other responsibilities. And it's really, really important that we stay grounded in who we are, because we don't want our ambition, pause. We don't want to lose the why. And I think that's it. Because for the tyrant king, right, who does so desperately to control the entire world, right? Conquer everywhere, right? Let's say somewhere along the lines, I guess that's less of a democratic system, so he wasn't necessarily voted into office or where he is. It's more of a lineage thing, but somewhere along the lines, I don't know if he had checks and balances, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, as we continue to grow and become more powerful in our identity of how we can show up to the world and what we wish to manifest and create for ourselves mentally, materially, whatever it is, we just have to make sure that we stay grounded in who we are and not allowing that drive or that consistency to run our lives, right? We have to make sure that we stay in control. And I think that's exactly what I'm trying to say. So with that, just super complex stuff, man. It's like different level. Like in any other capacity, I wouldn't even be thinking about this. But it's very interesting and I like it a lot. So cheers to development and cheers to having the best day of our lives today. Thank you, everybody who jumped on the messenger board this morning. Good morning. Good morning, Carl. I see you there. And I hope you all have a very, very excellent Monday. I hope everyone had an excellent or the best weekend. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye.